police car watching traffic. Lost in his own thoughts, Alex hadn't either. The loudspeaker crackled to life. "Pull it over!" The world seemed to rush back in. The white plumbing truck, trailing a fog of dust, slowed as it rolled off the curb up ahead, the black and white police car right behind it. As the truck stopped, two policemen leaped out, hands resting at the ready on their guns as they approached from both sides of the truck at the same time. They yelled orders, and both men carefully emerged with their hands up. In an instant, the officers had them out and leaning on the front fenders of the truck. Alex felt the tension drain out of his muscles, leaving his knees feeling weak. As he turned his glare from the men being frisked, he found the woman's gaze fixed on him. Her eyes were the luscious color of his finest sable artist brushes. It was clearly evident to him that behind those sensuous brown eyes, she appraised the world around her with an incisive intellect. She glanced deliberately down at his big hand still tightly gripping her upper arm. He had intended to toss her back out of harm's way so that the passenger couldn't hurt her, but the police had shown up first. She looked up at him in silent command. "Sorry," he said, releasing her arm. "You were about to be run down by pirates." She said nothing. He had meant his comment to be light-hearted, to ease the fright of what had nearly happened, but by her calm expression, she didn't appear to be the least bit amused. He hoped he hadn't hurt her arm. He knew that sometimes he didn't realize his own strength. Not knowing what to do with his hands, Alex combed his fingers back through his thick hair as he stuffed his other hand in a pocket. He cleared his throat, changed his tone to be more serious, and started over. "I'm sorry if I hurt your arm, but that truck would have hit you if I hadn't pulled you back out of the way." "It matters to you?" Her voice was as captivating as her eyes. "Yes," he said, a little puzzled. "I wouldn't like to see anyone get hurt in an accident like that." "Perhaps it wasn't an accident." Her expression was unreadable. He could only wonder at her meaning. He was at a loss as to how to respond. The memory of the way she'd been standing at the curb still hung in the shadows in the back of his mind. Even lost in distant, dejected thoughts at the time, he had noticed that her body language hadn't been quite right. Because he was an artist, a person's balance, either at rest or in motion, stood out to him. There had been something out of the ordinary about the way she had been standing. Alex wasn't sure if, by her answer, she was simply trying to do the same as he had been doing, trying to lighten the heart-pounding scare of what had nearly happened, or if she was dismissing his chivalry as a presumptuous line. He imagined that a woman as attractive as she was had to deal with men constantly trying clever lines in order to meet her. The satiny black dress that hugged her curves looked to be either high fashion or oddly out of time and place. He couldn't quite decide which, as did the long, deep green wrap draped over her shoulders. Her luxuriant fall of soft, summer blonde hair could have gone either way as well. Alex figured that she had to be on her way to the exclusive jewelry store that was the anchor of the upscale Regent Center across the street. The slanted glass facade was just visible beyond the shade of ash and linden trees spread across the broad grounds separating the upscale shops from Regent Boulevard. He glanced over at the plumbing truck sitting at the curb. The strobing lights from the police car made the white truck look alternately blue and red. After getting handcuffs on the passenger, the police officer pointed at the curb and told the man to sit beside the driver. The man sat and crossed his legs. Both wore dark work clothes, covered with grime. While both men quietly did as they were told, neither looked to be the least bit cowed. One of the officers started toward Alex as the other spoke into the radio clipped to his shirt at the shoulder. "Are you two all right?" the man asked as he approached, his voice still carrying an adrenaline edge. "They didn't hit you, did they?" Both of the cops were young and built like weightlifters. Both had bull necks. Black, short-sleeved shirts stretched over the swell of their arms served only to emphasize the size of their muscles. "No," Alex said. "We're fine." "Glad to hear it. That was quick."